Hey there, and welcome to Viewpoint Christian Academy. It's time for another Monday Moments. I am so excited about today's Monday Moment. I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to sit down and interview a very good friend of mine, Dr. Jeffrey Bell. He is the Chancellor of Faith Bible College International. And I sat down with him and I asked him to just share from his heart some really practical ideas as to how we can help prepare our children for success in college. Oh boy, was he fantastic. He gave some really down-to-earth practical advice. This is one of the best Monday Moments, I think, that we will have coming out for you, and extremely helpful for you and your high school child. So get some popcorn, sit down, and enjoy this Monday Moment from Viewpoint Christian Academy. I'm excited to have with me today for an interview a good friend, a man that I've known for many years that has blessed myself and my family through his ministry, the Chancellor of Faith Bible College International, Dr. Jeffrey Bell. It's a blessing to have you here with us, to be able to have you to share some of your insights that you have gleaned, and be able to communicate some of that to parents and students as to how they can properly prepare for college going forward. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to be with you. I've always enjoyed fellowship with you and your father and the church there at Viewpoint. And so just thrilled to be with you today.
Great. So we'll jump right into it. Let me just ask a couple questions to kind of get the conversation started and going. What would you say is the number one thing that you would recommend a student do to prepare for college life? Now, obviously, you're coming at it from a Christian college perspective, and we always encourage families to pursue Christian education from kindergarten all the way up through grad school, etc. We just strongly encourage that, because that's what will fit with our attempt to influence a biblical worldview. But from your perspective, what can parents and students do best to prepare themselves just simply for college life?
One of the more practical things that I encourage is if you can get your child, your student, a reading course, a speed reading course. One thing that most students say about college: I got to read all these books. I can't read all these books. How would I ever read all this stuff? That if you don't get into a little bit of speed reading and learn how to read and comprehend without trying to read every word, that's going to be a great asset to you preparing for college. I remembered when we were running a accelerated Christian education program, one of the things we encouraged in high school then was that they do a reading program that would help them speed up their reading. One of the things that I find is students are very slow readers today, and therefore they get bogged down. Doesn't matter what college it is, there's just going to be a lot of reading, and you need to prepare for that. Having had a speed reading course would be a great asset wherever you're going to college. That would be one of the first things I'd recommend. The second thing is English, because college has a lot of writing. And so getting I would recommend a good community college writing course to help prepare the writing skills and being able to do research, practice the research work. I know that in most high schools they have some bit of research. A lot of colleges have their own plan. If you know what college you want to go to, some are doing the MLA, some are doing Turabian. If you're going in another direction, it could be the APA. But if you know what they're using, prepare yourself with that by studying up on that before you go. That would be a tremendous asset. So it's going to be reading, going to be writing. This is college. And so preparing yourselves in a practical way for those things would be a great asset. Hoping to catch up with that. A lot of people go to college and hope to catch up with it by taking a remedial course while you're there. But it's hard to get on target writing papers while you're doing a remedial course because the professor doesn't slow down in the main course because you're taking a remedial course in writing. And so being prepared for that, helping parents understand this is a major part, and being prepared for that would be really, really important.
Yeah, that's great advice. In fact, I remember this is going back a little ways, but one of the first things I did when I went to college was do a speed reading course. And I can remember just ran the book, the first book that I really just sped read through. I mean, I was doing the whole thing, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I can still remember the book, but I had learned that trick. It takes some work, but it's a vital tool to have.
Yes.
That's great advice. And in our students follow the MLA in our high school. We teach and require them to document their sources. And any high school students that might be listening know that we always immediately send the paper back if they didn't document their sources, or they get some pretty significant docking of points. So that's really good advice. We're doing our part to help with that as well. But it's really good for parents to be on board and understand, these are really important things. And you are right. The professor doesn't slow down and wait. So you got to keep up.
You are one of those professors,
I am. I do know that, and I know that and I know what you're talking about, the writing levels and everything. Because and just in full disclosure, I actually teach a couple of courses at Faith Bible College International. Not all of our parents and students may know that, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think it's great advice.
So I would encourage any parent to check in with you to say, where's my student at as far as a writing level? Before I ship them to college, where are they at? Do they need a remedial college course to catch them up to speed of writing? That would be very wise of a parent to check that before they send them off and pay thousands of dollars on a college course that they can't attain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really, really good advice. Apart from those academic, those are really good. That's really good advice. Apart from those academic skills of speed reading and good, clear writing, what are some really practical life skills if a student is going off to college? What are some really practical life skills that a freshman should have?
My first one was learn how to do the laundry. Very practical.
That's great.
It's amazing the number of kids that go off to college and they've never washed their own clothes. And I find that to be true because they overload the dryer, because the dryer has a big drum. They like to put 2 loads of laundry in it. It'll all fit, but it won't all dry. And we have this terrible complaint that, these dryers don't work. They'll never dry my clothes. I expect 2 loads of laundry. It'll fit. I expect it to be dried on 2 quarters. Not gonna happen. It needs some air in there. There's some space for it to flop and get the air to it to dry. So it's just a practical thing that they need to know.
Absolutely.
How to clean their room. Lots of colleges have turned from this. We particularly have a room check. But an organized room will help with an organized mind. It's easier to sit down and go to work when things look decent and in order. When everything looks chaotic, it's hard to organize your thoughts. So just helping them to organize. I'm not saying they got to be Mr. Clean, spotless, white gloved, but just decent and in order helps build an orderly life. And so parents can really help with that now while they're home, their senior year. Mama, quit making the bed, quit cleaning the room for them, give them a chance to grow up. This is going to be particularly got some seniors there. This is their last semester, we would call it, last half of the year before going to college. A good time to get them in the swing of things, help them to do their own laundry, get them started in that, help them to organize their things, prepare their room. That will be a great practical way to help them.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice, and that's not only good college advice. That's good parenting advice you're giving right there. So
I remember telling one parent, that kid's room is disastrous. You take him home as soon as you can teach him how. Send him back. because if he can't do the little things, he'll never master the big things. And I got Bible for that.
Yes, you do. Yeah, if you can't make your bed, how are you going to get a degree?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. That's excellent. That's really good advice, brother. We appreciate this. I really appreciate this. And it's a good thing I was on mute because I was laughing a whole lot during some of that. Um, so how about this one? And you kind of addressed some of the academic skills and disciplines already, but what things do you find that successful students, and I'm not talking about personality. There are some students who just have a personality that they love to read, they love the books, whatever. Okay, I understand that. But what are some like things that you find, skills, disciplines that you find in successful students kind of across the board?
Successful students, I find that they are organized. We just talked a little bit about organized. They know how to run a planner, or what I'm doing today, tomorrow, next week. How am I going to get the goals completed? I've got to read so many books. Some people become very overwhelmed the first week. They get all the syllabi and they get a bunch of books stacked up, and I got to read all these books and do all these assignments. How will I ever get through here? Well, it's learning how to break that down into bite size. So every day I'm doing some reading, every day I'm doing some questions, every day and if you break it down, it's not that big a deal. The problem is for the student who doesn't learn that process and then tries to get the whole book read in one night. It's only 200 pages. We'll try to get this done in a night, or we're going to write a whole major paper in an evening. You're just not going to do well. Learning how to divide things up in a practical way to conquer. And I think that if you can teach them to read a book by choosing to read 20 pages a night versus trying to read it all in one night, if you can teach them to break up a homework assignment so they're doing a little bit every day in it, so it's not overwhelming at the last day it's due, that's very, very practical, and it's a great help. That's one thing that I liked about the system that you're running, is it learns to break down. You can't do a whole workbook in one day, but you break it down in bite sizes, and it's not that bad. Do 4 or 5 pages a day. Anybody can do that. And so you work your way through the system. I believe if you get a hold of that practice, any senior getting a hold of that practice can succeed in the academics, because they'll learn to break down the books they got to read, the homework they got to do, the papers they got to write, and that will become a blessing. I find that the people that succeed are people that understand the library, people that know where the library is at, spend time in the library. Well, you said we got books online. Matter of fact, we provide here at this college a bit of our books online so that they can read, study. They can make papers out of those books that they have to work with for resource. But I've learned that people that take the time in their free periods to find a quiet place in the library, whether they actually use the books there or not, tend to succeed. I tell people often, the best I can tell over 40 years of ministry and working in colleges is people do better in the morning as far as academics.
Oh, so you're preaching now. You're preaching now. Keep it up.
Rather than they think sleeping in all morning and work in the late hours, but they don't produce as well in the late hours. So getting a young person to understand, if you go to college and you go to the classes, and every free period you have, you go to the library and study and work on those assignments you have. If your room is decent and in order, the library is very orderly. In most every college I've ever been, the library is an orderly place. But if you even go back to your room, if it's orderly to work, the problem is in the room. You got more friends coming by to say hi, and they disrupt what you're trying to get done. Whereas if you go to the library, nobody's going to disrupt you. You're going to have that time to study. People say, well, I need a social life. Well, yeah, but if you work all morning on your classes, chapels, those sort of things, afternoon, you can get a job. The afternoon, evening, you can fellowship. So my recommendation is hit it hard in the morning. And if you work hard in the morning, you can just about conquer this thing. You give it your best then.
Well,
So that would be my advice on those skills. Get up in the morning, go to work in the morning, do your classwork. Study time is really important.
yeah, that's great. I love how you talked about how the ability to set goals and organize them. I sound like a broken record a lot of times on these episodes of Monday Moments because I'm constantly pushing. We call them vision cards, which would have been the equivalent of the gold cards. Basically, we renamed them. But the idea is I got a vision to finish everything for the year. So to do that, I have to set my goals every day in every subject. And we're always pushing academic balance, right? Every
Yes.
subject, every day. So learning how to set those goals will translate into success later on in college and in your career in whatever field you choose. I mean, it's a
Absolutely.
great, important life skill. So
Yes. Yes, very much so.
absolutely. Great. This is good advice. This is really good stuff. So how can a student, and I know you've talked about how to, get an advantage in the academics and everything, but of course there is more to college life than just the books, right? There's a lot of other aspects. There's the socialization. There's, if you're in Bible college, which we strongly encourage Bible college because
Right.
that fits with the biblical worldview we're trying to implement now. We don't want it to be undermined for 4 years at a secular
Right.
college, right? We want to strengthen it. We want to reaffirm it. There's ministry opportunities. There's all kinds of different things.
Oh,
How
yeah.
can a student make the most of their time in college? What advice would you give in that regard?
Time management is a big thing. One man says you can't manage time, it's going to march on. You can manage your life. That's what you're really learning to manage. And so learning to manage life. It's easy to get lopsided. And I'm just here and I'm all about the books and I don't socialize, I don't make friends. Or it's easy to be a social butterfly and that's all I do and I don't ever get through my courses. So that balance, it's tough walking a balance. And most young people coming into college are learning how to do that, walk the balance, because there's outside ministry. There may be a side job, which we offer here at the school, a student work program. And so putting that all together and keeping the balance in your life, it's back to scheduling the chart. In the morning, I do my schoolwork. In the afternoon, I do the work part. The evening, I fellowship a little bit, and I might do a little reading before I go to bed. It's making that chart and sticking with it that makes a person a great success, because there's so much more to learn than the books. I mean, their outside ministry will teach you a lot. One of the reasons I came to this college was the outside ministry program. I knew that they had the week of impact where they sent all their students out on an impact week to a church somewhere. I was never blessed with a singing voice, so I never got to travel in the singing team. So I came back and ran the school so I could travel with the singing team. That was the whole purpose. But the concept of being able to get out and touch the world, what's kind of ironic for me is the first year I came to Bible college and I came here at Faith Bible College, they had so many people in the first year. It was like the largest first year ever, almost 100 kids in the first year. They didn't have that many churches lined up to take us on the first impact. And so we got to stay here and do more courses. I was so disappointed. The reason I came here was for this. And so God was really testing me to see if I was in this for the right reasons, I guess. But we managed to get through that. And I've been doing these impacts for, oh, good heavens, maybe closer to 40 years of being on the road and traveling and preaching. So the Lord has a great sense of humor. But, that's a major part. I got connected with people and churches and friends and made a lot of friends over the years doing that. One of the things my father said to me before he passed was, you know what I appreciate most about life? And I said, no, what? He said, my friends. That's what I really enjoy about life is my friends. And
Amen.
I was looking at a man that had money, been broke, gone through a whole lot of different scenarios throughout life, traveled, preached, did a number of things. But when it was all said and done, it was the friends that he'd made. And I'm telling you that in a Christian Bible college, it's a great place to make friends that will last a lifetime.
Amen.
I was talking to an alumnus the other day who said, I got, and that alumnus had been here at college working with us for a little while. And she said to me, you know, when I looked over here at a classmate of mine who was working for the Lord in Washington State, and I knew this other lady that came to college here and graduated, and she's a missionary. You know her. I don't know how many of your parents would, but the Becks, who are down in, they're both graduates of our school, are down in Mexico. Well, the guy from Washington went to Mexico and was right next door, but didn't know there were alumni next door. Didn't know that I didn't know he was there till he come home. But the friends that you make, and this woman was saying to me, you know, I know both those people, but I didn't know they were that close to each other and didn't know each other. But you make friends that'll last a lifetime, and people from around the world. What I really enjoy about Faith Bible College is we have a great international sector here. 10% of our students, 20% of our students are foreign. We call them international students. They bring a great change to the atmosphere. They just there's something about being in a international kind of surrounding, and so the students really enjoy that part as well.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. That's good. That's good. I've also heard it said that Bible college is a great place for a young believer to get an MR or MRS degree, which if you're not certain about that, that's a Mr. and Mrs. But you know, that's for another, that's another session.
We do have courses to try to help them prepare for that.
Good. That's good. Why should, this is a really deep philosophy. We've kind of touched on it a bit, but why should a student attend a Bible college as opposed to say, just stay close to home and go to the community college or go off to, you know, a big Ivy Leagues type thing or whatever?
The statistics scare me. The last I read, 95% of people who graduate from Christian high school or are participants in a church because mom and dad have taken them to youth group, 95% of those who go off to secular college lose their faith in the first year.
Yep.
If I were a parent, I don't have any children of my own, trying to raise everybody else's. Just kidding. But if I were a parent in today's world and I knew that 95%, I don't think I would put my hope in, well, my child's going to be the part of that 5% that make it. I'd want a better odds in my home for my family. And thus at Faith Bible College, we offer a one-year program. The one-year program is designed to help people be established in their faith. And you say, well, I took them to church. They know the Bible. I've had them in Christian school. They know the Bible. But it's when they get among their peers, are they able to stand up there? You know, they can give you all the right answers in Sunday school and they can give the right answers in the Christian school. It's when they meet the peer on the outside, are they able to defend their faith? Our first year, we'll take them through Old and New Testament survey. We'll take them through the basic doctrines of the Bible. We'll take them through the ability to have a voice with public speaking. We'll teach them how to share their faith. And hopefully give them a good grounding. So if they decided, you know, I don't feel like I'm called to full-time ministry, they can transfer those credits and go on to Bible college, go on to another Bible college and a liberal arts Bible college and study something different. But it builds a good foundation. I don't recommend a secular college to anyone. Well, some would say, well, you got to have a witness in there, you know, somebody's got to witness. You witness to the parents. You know, I get amazed at the number of parents that say to me, you know, I got to keep my kid in the public school because we need a witness in there. Listen, if you witness to mom and dad, we'll have their kids come to the Christian school as well. But if you're not going to be a witness, how do you expect for your little son or daughter to be the witness, big witness at the school where the teacher's telling them the Bible's hogwash and it's not true? So I'm really strongly in favor of having that 1 year, we call it the Cornerstone program, 1 year foundation. Most people don't know, does God want to use me when they come? But if they come, give God an opportunity. In a chapel, how many times I've heard the story in a chapel, God's touched somebody and said, came to me after and said, I know I'm called to God. I just know God's got a purpose for me and I want to fulfill that. And so what you're doing by sending them to a Christian college, one that has chapels and believes that God's got his hand on those young people's lives, is you give God an opportunity to say, I want to use you in a special way. I want you to do more than just go to church and pay your tithe. I want you to be used in a different way. And they can be right there preparing for it. So I tell them, if you come the 1 year and you feel the call of God, stay with us. We'll take you right through to the bachelor level.
Yeah, amen. So that's great. We'll wrap this up with one last question, if that's okay. And we'll just combine them into kind of a two-part question. What makes faith different, and why should a student attend Faith Bible College? And you kind of addressed a little bit of that already, but this is your opportunity. And tell us about how they can get more information.
Okay, so Faith Bible College is different. One of the programs we run that is different is the Impact program. Everybody goes on Impact every semester outside of COVID. Everybody goes every semester out on a 10-day practicum where they get to experience. They're not just learning in their heads, they're getting to practice what they're learning, put it into ministry. That's different. No other college does it like that. They have other semester programs, but not like that one. What makes us different is the economics. We aim at keeping it affordable. For $7,000 a year, you can come, live on dorm, eat the food, and go to school, get your education, which is fairly reasonable in today's world. We're only able to do that because of kind churches like Viewpoint that have me come by and preach and share an offering with us to help young people continue to press on in ministry. That makes us different. There aren't many single-focused Bible colleges left in the land. Most Bible colleges have gone liberal arts because more people want that. More parents want to send their students to places where they can make money. Come on, you got to live in this world. You got to make money. Money has almost become the god of our day. The sad tale for me is when I talk to a parent and they say, I say to them, well, how's your son or daughter doing? Oh man, they got a great job. They're working at the bank. They're making good money. Just bought their second home. Da 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 da. And I'm saying, do they still go to church? Are they serving the Lord? Well, it's almost like that's secondary, and that doesn't matter. When people used to ask me about my brother, I would say to them, well, he's still lost. He's surviving. He's making a living, but he's lost. And so in light of eternity, how are they doing? That needs to become the focus. How are they doing? And faith is different. We're focusing on the eternity part, not the natural and how we get through. And why should folks attend? Because I believe it's one of the best places on the planet. It's right here in the heart of Charleston, Maine, where the summers are nice and the winters are cold. But there's no snow. I had a green Christmas for the first time in Charleston in a long time. And then it snowed the next day, and then the rain came the next day, took it away. I still have a green out there. So I just want to share that you can get connected to Faith Bible College by going online. Just www.faithbci. Faith, got to type out the first word for Faith Bible College and then just the letters bci.org. Not .com, not .net, .org. Will get you to the website. Everything is available there on the website. You can see the catalog. You can get connected with the college application. Everything is right there online. You can look at it all. And so I trust you will. We'd love to have you take a hit on that and look around and see what we got to offer. We'd love to help any of your students to proceed, to know the will of God and to develop in grace and the knowledge of Christ. and become fruitful. Herein is our Father glorified, Jesus said in John chapter 15, that we bear much fruit, so shall we be his disciples. And that's what we're creating, is disciples that'll go into all the world and communicate the gospel. Our mission is this: we produce professional Pentecostal servant leaders who will go into the world to make a world of difference. So God bless you. Thank you for having me in today. I just thoroughly enjoyed this time with you.
I have enjoyed it immensely as well. Thank you so much. And I would encourage every family, check out Faith Bible College International. We've had a lot of students and people from our church, Viewpoint Christian Church, Viewpoint Christian Academy, a lot over the years that have attended. I'm just excited to be able to be a partner. I appreciate the opportunity they give me to help disciple even more, because I know that I'm committed to the Great Commission. I want to disciple, and as Faith Bible does, as Faith Bible College International does. So I think it's something I'm pleased to be a part of in my small way. And we're so glad to have Dr. Bell, and we appreciate you having been here with us. So thank you so much for joining. And hey, everybody, check out Faith Bible College International. Go to their website, check it out. Consider going to their college days. Brother, when is college days? Tell us about that. When do you
Oh, yeah. College days is coming up in April of this 2021, April the 22nd, 23rd. It's come in on a Thursday, be here all day Friday, enjoy the classes. It's free to all who come. Getting here might cost you a little bit, but when you're here, it's all free. And leave on Saturday morning and head back to your home then. So you get a full day. You come in on Thursday afternoon, you got a full day Friday. We do the classes. We have activities in the afternoon. We'll have a Friday night chapel, which every student says is a highlight of the week. You want to come and be a part of that. And so check out the college, check out the menu. The food's been fantastic this last year. They just put in a salad bar, so you get a fresh salad every lunch, along with other stuff, soups and sandwiches and sodas and whatever. It's a pretty good menu for the price you're paying. I'm telling you what, I think we spend everything you give us just to feed you, and we trust God for the rest. I mean, it's amazing what they do in the cafeteria. So it's worth the trip up. Just come see, check it out. If you got any interest at all, come by and visit us.
So everybody, high school students particularly, especially those juniors and seniors, but if you're in high school and you're interested in that, go. Even if you just go for the almost like youth retreat experience, right, brother?
Yes. Oh,
get
yes.
your high school student out there, get them immersed in the scriptures, get them immersed in some good services, around some good fellowship, good brothers and sisters in the Lord, and let it be a great time. So thank you, Dr. Bell, so much. Appreciate the opportunity to interview you and for this insight. That's a lot of good insight that you've shared. So if this video has been a blessing to you, give it a thumbs up, will you? And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you again at another Monday Moment. God bless. Thank you for joining us today.